So, hello everyone, it's time for the first anime this season, right? First impression here, you know, reaction reviews. So we'll do the whole bit here, unless the anime is amazing. But we're doing the whole thing, right? The first impression of the fall anime. So, hello everyone, welcome to fall anime. Blue Period then being the first one. Tomorrow we're having the harem show, which I'm obviously gonna watch. You know, one guy, a billion females, gonna smash a lot. And also for that matter, the harem show tomorrow, right? Shumetsu no Harem. I am interested in seeing how they're gonna do it, right? Because it's like a hentai, right? But they're gonna are they gonna censor it, or they're just gonna show, you know, oppas? They're probably gonna censor it heavily, I think. Maybe they're two different versions. So that's also interesting to watch it and see what they do, right? But anyway, Blue Period then is like an art manga, right? They kind of do painting and stuff like that. It's shonen, I suppose we call it, like shonen art, yeah. And I guess we're gonna fight by a drawing or something. So I'm an anime owner, right? I haven't read it, but people say it's quite good. I am, of course, people ask, how did you watch it? It's not trashed yet. Yes, I am, of course, watching it, just the plain, real version, right? I'm watching the Rush version. Now subtitles. So, I don't know. This anime is in, you know, the jail, so to speak. And some people will probably translate it. Probably. Or we have to wait, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, here we are. Blue Period. First fall anime. And of course, next week we're going to have most of the other fall animes. Where I think that Mushu Tenshi will be my favorite this season. It's a sequel, though. Of the new animes. I don't know. Maybe this anime. Yeah, let's see. So, 3, 2, 1, and go. Here we go. It's a black screen now. Oh, it's like a karaoke place. No, okay, no, it's a sports bar. Okay, just watching the game. Smoking and drinking a lot. Okay. No. There's some ramen after. So I guess the main character is in college, would be my guess. Doesn't be younger, but in college. Yeah, there is like the main boy. Go to the bathroom. Very good start. Yeah, go to the can immediately. Here we go. Oh, he's upset himself. It just kind of weird start, I feel. He's like drinking a lot, yeah, smoking a lot, you know, he's doing a lot of like his 3 friends here. They smoke a lot. It's Japan though. I always say this thing, you know, I like Japanese culture, but the smoking in Japan is very common. Yeah, I think that I'm not a fan of smokers. You can smoke if you want to, but I'm just saying that in Japanese society, right, smoking is definitely one of the most prolific like smoke countries. Okay, that wasn't an opening. That was going to open first. No, he's in school. He smokes a lot. Okay, but okay, that's what I'm thinking. Isn't he like a high school student? But they drink and smoke like extremely a lot. Unless this is like college, but it's not college at all. Okay, so I guess they're just kind of mature for the age then. That's what I was thinking. So the premise is better than to be, you know, it's not delinquents, of course. Yeah, delinquents. But yeah, so they are around like that senior high school, I guess. Ooh, cute girl. Oh, here we go. And he's like, what? I guess he's like probably a canvas in that part. Yeah, it's like painting him, right? Yeah, but that woman was that is clearly the waifu of the anime. That is clearly the waifu. She jumps in there. He's like, whoa, what a babe, right? She kind of flies in there with, I guess, a painting canvas on her back, right? But yeah, that babe is clearly the waifu of this of this anime, definitely. A blonde babe come flying in there, and then probably her best friend, that other girl. I guess he doesn't care about painting right now. So like, if it's a dead woman, it's gonna be the. Oh yeah, smoking, eh? Yeah, sensei isn't. Yes. It's good sensei, kind of shaming them a little bit. Yeah, she's like, "Oh, boys, you're too young for that. Or give me one otherwise." Yeah, good, kind of embarrassing them there. But yeah, there are a bunch of delinquents clearly, and I love delinquents though. So, ooh, Kashan. Yeah. I don't know, Kashan. As I said, I haven't read the manga right. I'm just coming here as an anime only. But I'm gonna guess that he's gonna like get into the hobby of art, I suppose. Because the blonde babe is like, gonna pull him in, maybe, right? Maybe. Seems to be quite the, because he's writing Shakespeare, of course, Hamlet and Ophelia. Yeah, that's Shakespeare, obviously. Who hasn't read their Shakespeare, right? Yeah. Ophelia, right? Yeah, Ophelia. Classic Shakespearean. Yeah, if we got his cigarettes at the school here. Man, pretty badass boy though. He's gonna smoke in front of... Okay, see, and now he's gonna get into the hot babe. Exactly, he's gonna find art, baby. Because now he's gonna come in now and see this, hot babe or her art, right? He's gonna be like, whoa. Art. And now he wants to be an artist now, right? There we go. Call it, baby. He's gonna see her amazing painting, right? And be shocked by it, clearly. Pick up in the cigarette there in the art class. Because currently it's kind of like a random delinquent, right? Doesn't really have an interest. He's just kind of like wasting his time in school, right? Yeah, so he's gonna find his desire, right, to be an artist. Yeah, it doesn't really look finished there. Like, he hasn't finished the second frame of it. The canvas. Oh, here we go. There we go! Come on, clearly his love interest. I mean, she's clearly love interest. There's no way this woman isn't the love interest. It's gonna fall heels over her eventually, come on. Nah, this is what you're here for, boy! Ah! She knows what's up. Ooh. See? No, but she's clearly the freaking best of this anime by far, man. Who wouldn't become an artist if you meet this amazing best girl? It's all like, you want to smoke, boy? Yeah. Or do you want my painting? Come on, like. Yeah, embarrassing indeed. I like it, kind of burns though. He weird now. Interesting. You can have like a warrior. I'll say, love war dynamic here. Yeah. Are you calling me that? Yeah, they kind of have this like conflict immediately with the two characters. Interesting. And she looks kind of a Yankee. She can have the blonde hair, the outfit. Yeah. See herself as like a delinquent. Think about it. To some extent. I think it's all the girls supported the art club right in the background there. Yeah, it's supposed more the girls. Oh yeah, back at the sensei. The sensei's kind of funny too though, so I guess he's gonna be his advisor if he's gonna turn art. Yeah, she's kind of like a hooter, so he's gonna have a trickster old lady there. Yeah, there's a trickster old boss down there. Interesting. Yeah, she's all like, boy, what if I... Yeah, I like the sensei. Yeah, she's all like, interesting. You wanna hang out with us? Yeah, come on. Yeah, and the rest of them are girls, right? Which is pretty common for art school. I feel that's pretty common, mostly these girls. Pretty typical as high schools, you have most of the female. Arara, indeed. She's all like, Arara! Oh, you prefer the martial arts and schoolboy stuff? You're not manly enough to do this, She feels very taunting, yeah, the sensei. Yeah, she feels very like a kind of provocative, Obasha. She's all like, Arara, you can't defeat us. Yeah, like super. Yeah, she's kind of in his face, right? I like it, yeah. Good sensei. Super annoying old lady. She's all like, oh, best you got, boy. Where? Yeah, look at this woman, man. Maybe she's the best girl. The sensei, yeah. Think about it. But I don't know, I like her. She's super provocative though, yeah. Oh, best you got, boy! Like, yeah, call yourself a bad boy, you get fun. Yeah. Like, that's super annoying old lady. Like, super really, yeah. She's all like, incredibly in his face there. But I really like that he immediately fights over the girl, right? Pretty typical, love means war, you know, they're gonna have a disagreement, right? He's clearly gonna fall in love with her, though. I mean, she's I would be incredibly surprised if she's not gonna be some kind of love interest, right? I mean, come on, like, she's finding her painting, fighting with her, you know, disagree, yeah, come on. If she's not gonna be his love interest, I would be very surprised. But yeah, it's like Delinquent finds Art, right? Because currently he's just kind of like a nobody guy, you know, he just smokes, drinks, alright. He doesn't really have like an interest except hanging out, which like, I guess you could argue is a hobby, right? But he clearly doesn't really have any goals. He's just kind of like, you know, I'm just kind of hang out and, you know, drink some, you know, yeah, kind of that, right? You know, kind of a, yeah, just kind of puking. So now they're clearly just 4 delinquents. They are not really doing anything, right? They're just kind of being like minor inconvenience for society, right? Kind of smoking, drinking at school. It doesn't really, yeah, it doesn't really go anywhere, right? Like, they don't really have any purpose of life, I guess. So I guess it's like Delinquent finds purpose in art or something. I wonder if his friends are gonna get into it too, though. Yeah, I wonder if he can change them from also being this kind of like a, you know, these random drunk guys. Yeah, so I mean, obviously they're carrying around the camera, as I said earlier. That was pretty clear, right? I mean, of course she's carrying around a painting on her back. And she's the best friend, like I saw earlier. Did they say her name earlier? Whatever. I don't think she said name earlier. But she's probably gonna be one of these... I'll say it. One of the... I mean, she's gonna be the second female... I don't know, secondary female main character, whatever you call it, right? Bi-female main character, something like that. Something like that. Kind of like the wholesome girl. I mean, the other one is very aggressive, right? He's very in your face. She's the wholesome, you know, yeah, she's a nice and friendly artist, right? Yeah, she's the, yeah, like the nice and friendly artist girl, right? And the other girl is like, screw you, right? Yeah, so they kind of have the, which is typical, right? Because then he has 2 different love interests now, right? He has the, I feel so interested in the robots now. No, but like, come on. One girl in the class is gonna be an aggressive tomboy kind of, right? Another one is like an wholesome, kind of down to earth girl, which is very friendly and nice, right? So they kind of like, I'll say it, positioned against each other, right? Yeah, they're very different, right? In that sense, they have the same hobby, right? Yeah, basically you have like a delinquent tomboy girl that likes art, and you have a wholesome girl next door that likes art, right? So they kind of have. Yeah, the same hobby, but very different personalities, right? So that to me makes sense from like a narrational standpoint of different cats, right? But yeah, he clearly is interesting in the painting, right? Because she can teach you maybe. Okay, a long time ago, sensei, what? Here we go. He likes blue, yeah. No, I like it, or aoi then, or ai, yeah. Which is the same word for green in Japanese. Yeah. But they call it, of course, it's called blue period. Oh, of course. Of course he likes blue. Yeah, it hit me now, of course. The manga, the anime is called Blue Period. Of course this guy likes blue, right? His favorite color is blue. It makes perfect sense, yeah. Of course it is. Aoi, yeah. Aoi. Aoi. Opais! That's a man of culture, man. Oh, look at my Opais! Yeah. Yeah, but of course the main character likes blue. I mean, yeah, like, it's called Blue Period. Like, it's just so obvious. It's not even, when I see it, it's like, oh, of course, that's where the name comes from, yeah. It's just so obvious. It's like, my god, of course, he likes blue, right? Like, that's why it's called blue. But yeah, Japanese, the word aoi I mean, Japanese have the same with blue and green, which is kind of weird. But they also have Midori, that also means green though. But if I remember correctly now, AOE can also mean green in the past at least. But it's like, but you can also use Midori. Maybe it's opposite. No, I think it's AOE is either blue or green, and Midori is green. But I think usually they do use AOE for blue now and Midori for green. But correct me if I'm wrong. But I think that's those classic things that it's the same word. Like Akka is red, for example, and it's not some other color. Like it's oppa there. Look at this, Akka oppa is there. Yeah, red oppa is. He's ruining his blue sky. He can't really do what is it called? What he's trying to do, it's kind of like Shibuya, I guess no, but what he's failing at, I just can't remember the name now. But when I started art, what he's failing at is like perspective or something. Like you have to be able to draw, you know. One of these classic things you draw as a kid, but when I started art, he's like, oh, that bastard! So tsundere. I hate that loser. Yeah, he's so screw him. Oh, she's so in love, man. Yeah. Yeah, you like her, right? Now I should say that he's failing on the perspective art. I think it's called that in English, whatever. Basically, how to draw, you know, like 3 houses, right, and or more 2 houses that are going towards the middle. So you have to like paint how the hands are obviously gonna. Yeah, it's like perspective art or something. Whatever, something it's called, like, or angled art, perspective angled art. I can't remember the name now. But basically, that's why it looks so weird, because he's not like, you know, he's not perfectly aligning the lines right in like a perspective or internally, in the C dimension in art. That's why it looks so weird, right, his art. It looks kind of flat or kind of weirdly angled. It doesn't look like a real 3D painting, right? But yeah, sort of things you usually learn in when you study art, one of the first things, I would say. But yeah, look at it. She's like, yeah, wanna fight? No, that's what she brings. Like on the boat. But the sensei is tricky though. She's like, oh, Ada, you wanna join? she's one of those weirdos, man. She's like, oh yes, how neat. My plan. Yeah, I feel sensei is way more trickster than she needs to be. Clearly she's the best girl at the anime. But no, he allows blue, right? He's gonna do a lot of blue art. It reminds me of my grandfather. My grandfather used to be a painter, like after he was a professor, but he used to paint and so on too, right? And he used to paint landscape paintings, a lot of like the blue sky and the ocean and so on. My hometown, he used to paint like the ocean and different islands on in my hometown, right? Archipelago. My hometown has a very huge archipelago, so my grandpa would be out there and painting different landscape paintings, you know. And he would have his own canoe, so he would like canoe between the islands. Then he would get to the island and like make the canvas. So yeah, he did a lot of blue, very blue focused, blue sky, blue sea, and so on. Right? And a lot of like birds and so on. Yeah, blue landscape with a lot of wingles and stuff. But yeah, he really loves blue, man. This guy is more in love with blue than Oppai. This is crazy, man. See, she's just a trickster. Now, I think the Hans is my favorite character now. She's all like, oh, yes, blue! She's all like, oh, yes, Nandene. She's clearly trying to get him into art, right? I mean, of course, she's like typical school teacher, right? She's like, what if you became an art student in my club? She's always trying to recruit more students, right? But I guess she's trying to fix him from being a delinquent, from being like a bad boy smoking to be like an art boy instead, yeah. She's like, I'm gonna, make him be a good student by making him art, right? See, and Mom is all worried. Mom is clearly worried because he's like a delinquent, come on. And bad at school and so on. Actually, maybe he's not that bad at school because he's studying Shakespeare. So maybe he isn't like that bad of a student. He's more like some kind of drunk smoker guy, even though he's like 17 something. Yeah, he's clear, like, but maybe he isn't that bad, like really bad at school. He seems to be kind of like, I won't say he's like a great student, but there hasn't really been but yeah, now he's trying to see. This is what I mean. To be able to draw, houses like that, you have to learn the I said earlier, perspective art or whatever it's called, the perspective of how things are bigger and smaller of distance. Yeah, that's why he's fading, because they have to like draw this line. Yeah, you have to perfectly, you know, align the house in the streets, right? This is one of those. Because I remember when I was, you know, in art school, right, and I started this stuff. Yeah, you have to learn how to, like, you know, perfectly align. Yeah, so this is good in the episode though, because this makes sense for like a new art student to teach or learn this stuff, right? They would teach him. This is usually what they will teach someone, right? Like, this is how you kind of start the first weeks of. Okay, so well, clearly this is done by a manga artist, and that person is probably like, well, what did I learn at school the first week? I learned this stuff, right? So it makes sense. They would be like, this is probably a good, you know, beginning, right? But of course, this guy is, he's finding it himself, though. He's like figuring out how to do it by himself, though. So clearly he's like a talent for it, because he's like, you know, he's understanding how to do this perspective thing by himself. Yeah. So there you can see it's kind of bad because it's flat. Exactly. She's gonna be like, well, it's too flat here. This stair or this table here should be bigger, right? Because of the distance and so on. Yeah, exactly. Because you have to make it, you know, like. Yeah, the thing behind has to be smaller, right? You have to, like, you know... Yeah, you have to think about the perspective and distance, right? Far plane and close plane and shit. I am much more of a, you know, art engineer though than anything, but... No, but I did study at university, I did study, to some extent, like, you know, computer art, you know, CDI and so on, yeah, that stuff more. And I studied when I did a PhD stuff, I studied some kind of, like... what's called it? Well, graphical effects, basically. Graphical effects, lighting effects. I was like a lighting guy, lighting effects and reflected lighting and so on, right? So it's like a mixture of this and, you know. But that was never like my main thing. But I did study a few courses in computer graphics on like PhD level. But you know, that's kind of where I come up to. But of course I studied art for many years younger, but. No, but it reminds me of that, you know, we can't think of how to do the art, how to set it up and so on. But yeah, do what you want, boy, yeah. Senseis are like, do what you ski, you know? What do you love to do, you know? Yeah, just do what you wanna do, boy. Find that desire and yeah, doing, you know, she's basically like, you know, pursue what you want to pursue, right? Yeah. That's probably how I would translate. She's like, you know, yeah, you find what you want to do and keep doing it, you know. That's kind of like a good way to... basically. I'm really tired. I'm kind of summarizing what she's saying in English, but... no, but she's like, you know, kind of pursue your dreams, I guess you could call it. Yeah, that's a better probably. Pursue your dreams. But it was more down to earth. She wasn't like pursue your dreams. She was a little more like, if you like something, keep doing it, right? That's kind of a little more said, yeah. Because she wasn't like, she didn't do one of these, if you have a dream, just go for it no matter what. She was more like, if you like something, just do it. Like, what? Yeah, don't question it. Just keep doing it, right? Yeah. Yeah. No, but she's kind of like a little more down to earth. She wasn't like, you're gonna be the best artist ever. She's more like, well, you know, if you think this is fun, why don't you keep doing it, you know? You can still be a smoker and drinker, so you can also maybe enjoy doing art, right? So actually, she's a very good sensei. She might be one of the best senseis I've ever seen in anime, actually. This woman is actually a really good teacher. Yeah, think about it. She's actually like a really good teacher. She's like, I see you have some issues, right? You're a kind of delinquent bad boy. But what if you try this stuff? You might, you know, enjoy it, right? And then you can still be a bad boy. I don't care. You can smoke and so on. But maybe you wanna, like, you know, do something else. Yeah, like, maybe you can do both. You know, she's kind of like very, how I say it? She's kind of she's not trying to like push him into it too hard. And this is kind of playing a good game there. She's kind of like trying to meet him halfway, right? Yeah, great teacher. That's probably the opening. She's credits now, but it didn't do. Yeah, it's credits. I guess they did open this week. I guess listen to it. But I like how it hit me when he was like, I like blue. I was like, of course. Wow, yeah. He's like, I was like, yeah, of course, because the anime is called Blue. I was like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense because it's called Blue and he's like into blue. I was like, oh, of course it is. Of course, he loves blue, right? I was like, yeah, that's no, but I mean, it really makes perfect sense when you think about it. I was like, oh yeah. Who's doing her voice? I've been on this voice before, but I can't recognize the voice there. Yumiri? Yeah, so the badass, you know, badass girl, Ryoji, she's voiced by Yumiri Hanamori, and I've been on her, the young voices, I've been on her chat before. I recognize her, but I can't. Oh, Zero in Zero Suki, okay. Oh, she's Hell. Nah, I mean, sure, I watched The Dead, but she's in. Oh, she's the pupil in Akudama Drive? Huh. Or did she do All the Side Picnic? I mean, I liked the anime, yeah. Oh, yeah, she's sort of okay, that's probably the latest one, the main character in that anime. Oh, she's Nadesco, that's what she is. Nadesco in Eurocamp, yeah. She's super genki Nadesco, that's what I. You know, sometimes you hear a voice actor, right, and you're like, I can't really point it. I guess let's leave it her is that is they're dead. But I was still a little bit like, I don't know, but yeah, what I'm thinking mostly is Nadesco, of course. Super genki girl, you know, in love, yeah, in camp, of course. That's probably what I hear the most there. I was like, yeah, that's the main character. He has done almost nothing before. I don't even. He's almost done nothing. He's like in Ghoul. But he has been like, this guy is young, he's almost done nothing at all. But I didn't recognize the voice anyway, no. But her voice I did recognize. But this was not like I recognized the voice, but I couldn't point it. It was not like, you know, Hushan or something. It is one voice that I was recognized. It's definitely, maybe most seriously, probably Riku Yamiya or Yubi Horie. Those are probably the two. Saura Ayomi, perhaps too, a soft voice, yeah. Minne Tomato, yeah, something like that. But, you know, so we have, Haruka Tomatsu I probably also recognize always, I think so. And of course, Sora. It's all, yeah, his gorfs, I can't miss now Nakai, of course. Kazuyo Nakai, of course. And can't forget about, of course, my favorite was maybe, I guess, of course, Suda. Kenju Suda, I can't miss that him either. But anyway, yeah, the hot female girl, clearly the main girl. She was one of those, you know, I was like, I recognize her voice, but I was like, I don't know. I've heard her probably last season, and I kept thinking, you know, who is she? And then I was like, oh, it's Helly from The Detectives Are Dead. Oh, it's Nadesco and so on. Yeah, but you know, kind of that classic feel where you're like, I definitely heard her in an anime like last week, but I just can't, like, you know, pinpoint her. She wasn't playing like a main character. Anyway, let's review it. Sorry for that. No, but every time I watch a new anime, but every time I watch a new anime, right, I get into this, like, who's doing different voices, right? So in her case then, Ryoji here, I was like, I heard her voice definitely last week, but I just couldn't, you know, say what anime, but okay, Detectives Are Dead, yeah, okay, I get it, you know. Kind of like that, right? Some more times, you hear someone like Riku Yamiya, she's in the last line in Vanitas last Friday, yes, 1 week ago. In the cliffhanger part of Vanitas, you see this new character. Her name was, like, I think Sophia, or maybe Sophie, something like that. And it was obviously Riku Yamiya. Riku Yamiya, Queen of Tsundere. That's very easy, right? So some of these big voice actors, I immediately. But anyway, let's review it. So, Delinquent boy. I mean, he's delinquent, but he clearly is pretty good at school. So it's a little bit like he's like a genius. Maybe we should call him a tensai. But he's some kind of, you know, Yataro. He's Yataro Yaguchi here. He's some kind of, like, I guess, a talented individual. Yeah, he feels like a talented guy, I guess, because he's pretty good at school, right? He's pretty hot. He's pretty popular. I guess he has life pretty easy, right? And but then he drinks and smokes and so on, right? But he was pretty good at school too, I suppose, even though his mom and so on is a little bit like worried, right? In a sense, it's a little bit worried. But that being said, though, well, I guess he lacks his purpose, right? Yeah. So I like that premise. He's kind of like a good, talented boy. Definitely still a delinquent though. I mean, he smokes and drinks and so on, right? Kind of blonde hair kind of going on. So yeah, definitely a delinquent. Bit of a Yankee, right? And he doesn't really have a purpose, as I mentioned. He doesn't really have like a, a goal, right? He's kind of going through life, hanging out, doesn't really do anything at school and so on. And then of course he sees this babe, right, jumping past him with a canvas, I guess correctly, and then we see of course his painting. He's like, whoa, maybe I want to paint, right? So I like the episode. Yeah, I think it's a good premise because you have a main character that just clearly has a pretty good life, I suppose, right? And he's kind of get away with doing his drinking and so on. But he's obviously feels very bored, and he's kind of, I guess you could argue he's depressed, right? He's something like that. Yeah, he has a kind of, mind depression or whatever. And then he meets, see this painting, right? And meets this badass, cool girl, right? And now he's like, maybe I should do art. So that's a good premise. I like the dynamic too. Obviously, she's like a cool tomboy girl. It's kind of aggressive. And then, of course, the other girl, the senpai. She's the super nice senpai, right? Oh yeah. She's the super, wholesome. Here's it, yeah, good image. She's the super wholesome, nice senpai. And that I think is a good premise too, whatever you call it. I mean, every time you make a new storyline, and this is something I think, even though it's kind of trope, I suppose, but it's just good, right? Like, you don't want to have... It's like if you write any harem, right? Like, look at quintuplets. Of course, all 5 of them have different personalities, yeah, different modes type of it, if you can break it down. But certainly, the senpai, she's the classic, wholesome, calm, caretaker, the Kanrin kind of senpai, right? Where, of course, the other girl is the aggressive tomboy. It's like, shut up, I do what I want, yeah, stupid boy, yeah. She's that one. She's like... I don't like you, yeah. And she's all like, oh, how nice, a young boy that helps me, Oh, I great having friendship, yeah. she's that one, right? I actually kind of sundered him when she did this painting. That's like a straight up classic Sundere scene there. She was like, oh, this is pretty good. Actually, I hate this. Yeah, what was that scene? That was cute, man. She find his painting, right? His blue painting. Like, oh, it's very blue. And then she sees that he did it, and then she's like, this is clearly crap. Yeah, and then she's like, completely changed her mind. No, I think that was just a kind of cute, classic Tsundere action. She's like, oh, this is a really good painting. And I was like, actually, it's crap. Like, I can't find it. No, what was it? Here it is, yeah. Here it is. First she saw like, this blue painting? This blue period guy? Oh, he's really talented, yeah. I mean, this is, she saw like, oh, yeah. This person has some natural talent, right? And then of course she reads a name tag, yeah, and now she's all like, what? Yeah, and then she's like, crap. No, this was very Tsundere. I love Tsunderes. I like what the curiosity. I love Tsunderes, and yeah, I think this scene was probably my favorite scene, of course. Because first she's all like, whoa, what a great artist team. Who is this guy? And then she's like, oh, he. Fuck this place. Yeah, she's all like, oh, I love this crap. Yeah, I love it. Very, very Tsundere, very Tsundere. Yeah. First she loved the painting, and then she saw who did it, and then she hated it. And then suddenly it went from the best, beginner artist guy. It went from the best beginner, right, to the worst beginner. Yeah. And then it turned into this person is a crap artist. He's never gonna make it. It's like straight up. But they're obviously gonna have like a love story going on, primarily. The senpai might also get into the actual, I suppose, right? But it's... Yeah, as well, it's very clear that she's the... But I just wonder if I said the right thing. I think it's called art perspective. See, I was right! Oh, good. It's like, I kept saying it. It's called perspective, right? Or art perspective. And I was like, am I saying the right word? But I'm pretty sure it's called art perspective. I did Google that, just confirm that I was right. But yeah, I was right. Good. Because I kept thinking like, I'm saying the right word, right? I didn't go to school to not say the wrong word, You know what I mean? I was like, I'm saying the right word, right? I want to be the guy, giving bad advice here on my YouTube channel, yeah, on Twitch and so on. This is typical art perspective, right? Yeah. With the hand, but yeah. So... This was what he was learning being, right? So, like I said earlier, I remember I went to art school. This was one of the first things they taught you. Very early, yeah, very early. This is like the first thing you learn, right? Clearly this guy has a talent because he's learning it by himself in the sense he kind of looked at the videos always a bit. But that's why his first painting really failed, right, in a sense, because he was doing this blue art that he likes, but he couldn't do the buildings, and that's because he's failing at this thing called art perspective, as I kept saying during the report. Because basically what it is, right, is that you have to learn to how objects are smaller or bigger on distance, right? That kind of gives you that 3D thing, and it is you learn first by doing it for like houses and other kind of straight lines, right, like a road or something, right? Where typically you kind of draw like a road, maybe with a few houses on the side, right? Or some trees or whatever, and of course a tree that is further back is gonna be smaller, right? So one of these things, right? You're gonna learn this stuff. But things that later on in life, when you're gonna draw some big objects, right? You're gonna draw some movies or whatever, right? The character has to follow the same thing, right? Like if a woman is standing like this, right? This hand here is gonna be, you know, this hand here is gonna be tinier than this hand, right? Because this hand is close to the, yeah. So if you're gonna draw someone doing this stuff, right? Or a woman being like, you know, derp, derp, you're gonna have to, you know, adjust that. Yeah. If you're a good artist, right? You're drawing a woman doing this thing, her oppas are gonna be kind of the same, right? But if we're doing this thing, right, this oppa here is gonna be bigger, right? Because it's actually, of course, it's not actually bigger, but in perspective, right, it's gonna be bigger. So that's one of the things, and I remember seeing it actually, discussing this among Discord a few last year, when I looked some art with some more people there, and I was like, this art doesn't work because this woman here actually wasn't female art, right? Yeah, because I was like, this doesn't really work because. Yeah, her legs still are very flat. It doesn't look like the one. If you're standing like this, right, one leg has to be bigger in the forward and so on. So yeah, he's clearly smart because he kind of picks that up by himself. He's looking at outside the house, right, and he's understanding. Oh, I have to make the house further back, smaller, and so on. I have to make this perfect perspective. I have to improve the perspective, and then of course Arara Sensei is like, yeah, she's teaching him. And I like the painting she did, which she was comparing. Yeah, this is a good example of it. Yeah, this is a really good example of it. Like just like in reality, just like when you do it in real life, right? So basically, he's doing it too flat, right? He's doing it. Yeah, it's not proper perspective. The further one, like for example, the one to the top left one, that one is way too big in the front, like the front table one. There should be like maybe half the size of that. So that's very clear. He's failing painting that one. And the one to the right, middle right, is also kind of too big on its left side there. And we had the table, the leg on the middle one is also too weird. The leg should be pointing like internally. You see the leg on the one in the middle. That leg either shouldn't be shown like in her painting. She's just showing the leg. But if you show the leg, that's fine. You know, it's harder to draw it than because you're on the legs. But that leg then should be going like inwards, right, instead of outwards in the. What's called the angle of from like the axle, like the internal axle, right? It should go the other direction or be aligned, I guess, to the same perspective, right? And that's a point too that she makes here, that of course in reality the tables might not be perfectly aligned, but in her version you see that they're all, you know, perfectly aligned. It's like a line between them, right? In history, kind of scattered around. But in that his defense though. In reality, the students would very unlikely have put their tables perfectly in the same alignment, so it's actually more realistic that they wouldn't be that. However, though, the middle one, if that one's going to have his leg towards the right, then it should be much tinier on the left, because if the leg is so far out right on the right side, like the front leg, the further left back leg, diagonally left, the hypotenusa, the other leg on the other side, that leg has to be way smaller or be angled in the other direction because it's going like in that, right? So that's why it looks very unrealistic, because both legs are kind of the same size. But if this leg here is going like that, this leg here has to follow, right? So it has to follow in the same direction. So it doesn't look like it's actually a real table, because it looks like it looks more like a table that instead of having like an actual table with like 4 legs, right? They kind of align like that. It's like a table with like this thing, but like a kind of weird randomized legs. So it looks very unrealistic. But anyway, yeah. So I'm just saying, you know. But it's a good example she made it. I like art. I like to do hentai. Anyway, is this the best woman ever though, Sensei? Yeah, I mean she's pretty hot though. She's definitely the host as well, I feel. She's very Arara. She's like, I can teach you some move, boys. But seriously though, she's a really good teacher. I love this last scene. Obviously, seeing this like, you know, kind of badass tomboy girl is great too. The Otishan, clearly the best girl. I mean, I like, you know, the tsundere girl a lot more than I like that. I mean, I'll say I dislike a nice senpai. It's all like, oh, how nice, you will help me out, you know. That's nice too, but you know my type. I like the girls aggressive, right? I like the good tsundere girls, yeah. You know, I love Noelle, so you know, I'm a tsundere lover, so obviously I'm gonna like the angry girl. So I'm like, his art sucks, yeah. But maybe it can be good, yeah. You know. I don't like her or anything, yeah. I mean, obviously that's gonna be my favorite character, but otherwise, yeah, the sensei, goddamn man, nice TILF. What a TILF! But I think it's very fair to say that she's a really good teacher. I liked how she basically explained to him, you know, like, oh, or you know, like you can, you know, find something you like, you can do it. Yeah, I liked how she was down to earth about it, because she wasn't like telling him you have to do this thing, and on the same time, it wasn't like she was just, how to say it, you know, a lot of times in anime or whatever, right, they kind of get overkill, and the senseis are like, it's your dream, you have the talent of being the best, do art, boy, do art, right, whatever. She was kind of like, oh, you seem to be good at this thing. But also, because I guess she kind of felt his, you know, kind of, let's call it depression, for easiest argument here. She was like, you're kind of depressed, right? Maybe you can just do art. You know, you don't have to be the best at it, you don't have to win some tournaments at it, you can just kind of do art, you know, yeah. She was basically, I think her last speech was very good, because she just kind of told him that, oh, you seem to have a talent and you seem to enjoy this thing. Why don't you keep doing it? You don't have to, you know, become the best tomorrow. You don't have to be like a shonen protagonist or whatever, yeah. You don't have to do that shit. And I'm not gonna fail you because you're trying to learn some stuff, you know. Just you know, do what you like, you know. Yeah, if you like this thing, why not give it a chance, right? So I think she gave him a really good pep talk, because he's kind of like, oh, you know, life is meaningless in a way, right? He's a little bit that kind of depressing, like, nothing matters kind of take on it. And so that was good of her. And at the same time, it wasn't like she put too much pressure on him. I mean, she clearly is trying to make him, you know, stop smoking or whatever, took his cigarettes, right? Or she kind of, you know, made him not do it, yeah, I guess, didn't take it, but whatever, semantics. So she's clearly trying to, you know, fix this delinquent boy, right? In that sense. But yeah, I really like it. I'm gonna watch more, definitely. I mean, this sensei here, this TILF, I mean, she definitely is probably the best cat, honestly. But I like the other cats too. But goddamn TILF though, goddamn TILF, man. A great TILF character, very good character. But yeah, see you guys tomorrow with another, of course, new anime. We have Harem, baby, as I mentioned earlier. Second fall anime, yeah. 1 man, 1,000 waifus or something per meter. It sounds crazy. It's one of those animes where like, it's a hand plot, yeah. He's the only surviving man, basically. He's the last man, yeah. Every other man has died, right? It's like 1% male, or it's like 99.9% female, and the rest are 0.1 men or something. It's silly. That's tomorrow. I'm obviously gonna watch it because it's like a horror anime. I'm gonna laugh at it, but yeah, the series is good. Otherwise, I think it's the final episode tomorrow of My Academia and the final episode of Real Hero, I believe. And Great Yagi is gonna keep going. All the anime ended. So yeah, see you guys. Have a great day.